What's happening, guys? How you guys doing tonight on this Friday evening? How about now, Phil? Are we good to go on the record button?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. How you guys doing? What's happening, Kip? Good to see you. Pay your go-to webinar bill right away. Right away. Look at him. I had a long talk with John last night after my internet kicked back in. And there was a tremendous amount of discussion about how John sits in his house and specifically crafts like subject lines for his questions to make sure that I notice them. And then he goes through this whole big, long, intense thing where he slides in two legit questions to get me thinking he's on his side, and then he slides one in to see if I'll read it on the air. So that's the little game he's playing with me. But not tonight so far. Oh, man. John says, shut him up, Uncle Phil. All right, all right. Eric wants me to mention also that all the new Wrecking Ball training vids are, in fact, up at wreckingballmobile.com/members area. And there's a handful more coming, but I think we posted like 25 videos, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, they will, in fact, wind up being embedded right in here as well. All of the client-side videos are, in fact, true white label videos. And the admin videos are pretty much white label, but nobody's going to see them but you. But yeah, so all of the client videos for this entire list here are done and in the members area. And on either tomorrow or Sunday's update, they'll be embedded right here into the application as well. So that's good news. We had a couple of folks help us out with that. Des Futak and Dwight G. have been helping us out with those videos to get those done for you guys, so that's awesome. And they did a phenomenal job. Both of them actually just kicked ass on these things, so we appreciate it. And we're going to, obviously we'll get you guys anything that we need to make sure that you have what you need to use the staying thing. So last night, on our Thursday think tank call, right in the middle of it, we were just getting in. We were just starting to roll, and I lost my darn internet, as you guys know if you were there. So luckily, Valerie and Phil, I had made them organizers, so they were able to tell you what's up instead of just drifting off into silence that doesn't make sense to anybody. So I apologize for that. Nothing much I could do about it. We got like 12 inches of snow between Tuesday and Wednesday, and it seems like every time we get that heavy snow, then when it starts to ice and melt off, we have internet trouble here. So I don't know if there's an open canister hanging off of a telephone pole that's causing the problem or what the heck, but that's what happened last night, so I apologize for that. And what we were talking about was actually what Jason's about to do is for his Upstate Daily Deals list, which I believe is about 1,500 currently, isn't it, Jason? Right in there?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so what we're about to do is use the viral campaign style inside of Wrecking Ball to try and double Jason's list. And what I was talking about last night was crafting the right offer. Because I think the offer needs to be different for an existing list versus a fresh subscribe. I think it's a little bit different game, and I think there's a little bit different mentality that needs to be addressed. So, Jason, you spent some time actually putting that offer together, and you've pretty much got that dialed in. And I know we're going to go through the mechanics tomorrow and get this thing set up so you can get that blast. But just tell us a little bit about what your intentions are with the offer that you're going to send out. And then we'll talk about this for just a few minutes, and then we'll get into Jason's curriculum tonight, which I believe is starting a client and list building. Am I correct about that?
You're spot on, Dave.
Well, I try. Some days it works, some days not so much. Today it's working. So what did you wind up deciding to do for an offer?
All right. I was Well, here's what I've done. In addition to building my list, I've built a Facebook business page for the Upstate Daily Deals of about 2,000 fans. So what I was going to do was, here's the offer: enter for a chance to win a free gift card. And I was going to give away like 10 gift cards. So I was going to trigger the campaign by just saying, to play, text start. So I wanted to structure it as a game, and the offer would just be a chance to win a gift card. So everybody wants to win a gift card. We give them away all the time on our daily deal page. And I had it set up such that once they start, sending the viral coupons, not viral coupons, but sharing it, the viral message with their friends to, grow the list, we were going to announce the winners on Facebook. So I
Gotcha.
didn't know how many people that are on my list that are not fans, but we were going to use Facebook as a platform to announce the winner. But still, we could easily just do a raffle and announce the people on the list to announce the winner. So it was really just a game to win a gift card.
Okay. Okay. I like that a lot. Because how many restaurants are you supporting on that Upstate list?
It ranges between like 15 to 25.
15 to 25. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
some are just more frequent than others. So.
and I like the idea of, because the gift cards you're giving away, those are just going to be like Visa gift cards or gas cards or
No,
what?
they'll actually be the cards of the restaurants I do marketing for.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Even better still. What we talked about a little bit last night was, bundling in pretty much exactly what you're saying. The point I made last night was, in order for this viral to work, I don't think it can be a standard 2 hot dogs, 2 Cokes, and a bag of chips type of offer. I think it has to be substantial enough where, somebody can take the family out for dinner or do something of their choosing, So I like the gift card idea instead of just trying to grow a viral list with a standard quote-unquote offer.
Yeah.
I think that's going to work a lot better than just, share this with 10 of your friends and get 2 free dogs or 2 dogs for $5.
Yeah.
Because I think it has more perceived value. Now it also has more real value, more intrinsic value, but it definitely has more perceived value. And typically when we're marketing something, that's the most important part, is the perceived value,
Yeah.
or the extrinsic value, if you will. Word of the day.
I thought it would be good, at least from the participation standpoint, because it's kind of like the lottery. I may have a chance to win. So you just buy a ticket,
Right.
with hopes of winning. So just a gift card, and I was going to put, we're giving away X amount of gift cards worth $20 a piece or $25 a piece. And I think they would at least play. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, yeah, and if it's not pulling the way you want it to, we can always change up the offer a little bit and just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Stretch has got a good point. Stretch says, you could actually give away like scratch off lottery tickets. A little bit less cost, but it's got a little bit more of a rush. Of course, then you're going to be mailing out, Of course, you're going to be mailing out the gift cards regardless. I don't know if you're planning on delivering them electronically or actually a physical gift card, but I think that's the way you got to go. So what Jason and I are going to do is we're actually going to get this thing set up for him tomorrow, and maybe what we'll do, Jason, is we'll actually use the GoToMeeting to set that up, and then I can click the record button,
Okay.
and we can go back and edit out the sensitive data, but then we can share that with everybody. If you guys would that be cool with you guys? You guys want to see that kind of stuff? Because I think we could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All right. So that really dovetails. That's a perfect fit for what we talked about last night, because it's a powerful offer. It's not your standard run-of-the-mill offer, and I think it's going to work really, really well, especially on this list that you've got. It adds a little bit of built-in cross-marketing. that was, not necessarily intentional, but that's a nice added benefit for what you're trying to do. So I think that's going to work really, really good. Um, let's see. Um, yeah, okay. I'm just trolling through the question box here to see if there's anything. I'll tell you what, Jason. I'm gonna shut up. Like I said, I actually have to run. I have a meeting here now. I know you just got back from. You've been with clients all day, and
All day.
just got back 10 minutes ago, and now I actually have to run out and meet a client. So I'm gonna shut up. I'll be here for a couple more minutes. But I'm going to hand you this thing and let you get through your curriculum. Phil's got the recording, and I will catch up with you boys later then. So,
All right. Well, that sounds like a plan.
all right.
Take care. Well, I hope everybody is doing fantastic today. Like Dave said, I have been gone all day long and busy, and it was a productive day, but I'm not complaining. I wouldn't want it any other way. So the topic we're going to talk about is list building and optimizing your campaigns. So I know this is a point that a lot of people are asking about, and people had questions about, well, how do you grow your list in your restaurant? How do you build a database? How do you ensure people, get onto the list? How do you do the deals? We're going to cover all of that today, okay? So you see the curriculum, optimizing your campaign one-on-one. We're going to go over training, inside restaurant logistics, list building tips, effective campaigns that work well, maximizing and optimizing your deals. And then the last one is kind of a bonus, and that is how to use Facebook to grow your clients list. I kind of stumbled upon this little strategy here, and it works pretty well. So we'll get into that. So anyhow, I started off with training because, as you've heard me say many a times that I've touched on, this is the absolute most important component in starting a SMS list. My social media manager that also does training for me whenever we start SMS campaigns, she's meeting with employees tonight at actually 10:30 p.m. It's 6:48 p.m. Eastern time here. But she's meeting tonight with the associates, and she's going over just really best practices on how to get clients started off right. And she's going to do employee training. So just to kind of give you all the 1,000-foot view, what I'm going over, what I have went over, and I will go over again, and what Molly, my social media manager and trainer, is going to do tonight is really, you want to over-communicate, right? You want to over-communicate to the point where you talk about the importance of this so much that they say, hey, I got it. I got it. Okay, you said this 5 times already. I got it. That's what you want to do, because it's really the lifeblood of your campaign. I met with a guy today that we're getting started as well, his VIP club, and the first thing I told him, I said, look, we've covered all this information about the ROI and what you can expect to make from text marketing, but none of that matters if you don't have the people on a list. If you don't have the people on a list and people aren't promoting it correctly, then the percentages of redemption that we've talked about many a times, it's not going to happen. She's like, okay, I got you. I said, no, I want to make sure you really understand. So you want to go over the training documents with the owner or the manager, and you can find this information in the SMS text Bible. So if you have not had a chance to go over that, I'm not going to go over it in detail here, just for brevity purposes, but definitely read over that. And whenever you start somebody, you go over that in detail. Just to summarize what's in here is just making sure you're training the people right, making sure you're educating them about the actual campaign. People are always going to have questions such as, is this list going to be sold? Are you going to give my information away to third-party sources? Because when you think about it, the frontline soldiers, if you will, are going to be the wait staff if it's a sit-down restaurant. If it's a place where it's just a cash register and there is no wait staff, then your front line is going to be the people that run the cash register. So those are the people that restaurant or business is depending on promoting and talking about this campaign, and also answering the objections or concerns or questions. And see, that's why it's so vital that the associates know what to say and to really influence these patrons to jump on the list, because people are going to have questions. But maybe you and I, we're more techno savvy. We see a QR code and know exactly what to do with it. We see text messaging. Yep, we're used to it. But there's some people that don't really text. There's some people that, this stuff is still, they kind of take a stand back. They're not too close to embrace it. So that's where you have to come along and tell the associates, hey, you're there. Really, they're there as a consultant, a list building consultant. They're the sales reps. So training is very, 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 very vital. So I beat that into the ground. So let's go ahead and get started here. Don't let a campaign linger longer than 2 weeks with limited opt-ins. And we'll get into a little bit more as to, I guess, fine-tuning. How would you know that? But you would know if you start a campaign, you do training, or somebody that you hire to go do training, and the associates are well informed, the owner, the manager is well informed, and a week and a half, 2 weeks goes by, and you got 5, 6 people in a database, knowing that this business has put more than 5 people or 6 people or 10 or 20, however low amount it is, through their restaurant in a matter of 2 weeks, you have an issue, right? And what's happening, I can tell you what's happening, is even though you've done all that training, even though you've laid down your expectation of this business owner, they're not following it. And see, you want to nip that in the bud quick, because it can backfire on you. And here's how it can backfire, is you've sold them pretty much a bill of goods in a sense, but from a good standpoint, because text works. You've let them know that you're going to increase business, increase customer frequency, right? And even though you've done all the training, if they're not building that list, yes, that's their fault, but what will happen is the blame game will start to occur, where they start pointing fingers, and they forget the training that happened a month or 2 months ago, and what you told them, that if you don't implement this campaign correctly, then it's not going to work. And then all of a sudden, guess what? This tech stuff doesn't work. It didn't work for us. And they go down the street and tell the other business owner, because if you're working with local businesses, they all talk because they're all struggling, because they all want more business. Hey, I tried that thing with John and it doesn't really work. No, you didn't work it. So that's why it's so important to pinpoint these issues, nip it in the bud very quick, and it all comes down to training. Everything comes down to training. Like at my job now, what I do, it all comes down to associate training. You have to make sure that people follow the standard operating procedures. Everything you do has a standard operating process, and if you don't follow it, you deviate from it, then there's no good that can come from it. So I hope that makes sense. All right, so let's get into some restaurant logistics. What's needed to run an effective mobile club? And this is short for Mobile VIP Club. And so we're going to go over some secrets of high participating campaigns. So you want to make the restaurant mobile VIP ready. What that is table tents, whatever's on the table that has a creative that gives the subscriber the opportunity to opt into your campaign. You want posters. What I typically do is get a 12 by 18 or sometimes a 12 by 24-inch poster, and I'll put that at the register, because if they happen to so miss it at the table while dining, I want something that just pops out, sticks out at them. So at the register, now there's another opportunity for that cash register person to say, hey, did you jump on our list, right? If they're in a rush and there may be a line, because you got to consider that, maybe during the lunch rush where people don't really have the time to pull out their phone. They may have been talking at the table, maybe during with friends or family, and they didn't have an opportunity to do it. Hey, no problem. You have leave behind cards too. I typically go to a site called iPrint, just iprint.com, and you can typically get, I think, like 100 to sometimes I think 400 cards for like 10 to 15 bucks. It's really not expensive. But I like that site because it's simple and it allows me to really just design the card myself instead of using a template. But you can use a template as well. Typically what I put on the card is just the same information but more simple as what the table tent would have. The restaurant, how to join the club, the keyword, and that's it. So the leave behind card is least, I guess, descriptive, and flashy and design-wise. The table tent is what you want to catch people, so you want that to stand out and pop. But it's all the same information, just different modalities of issuing it. Okay? So other thing too, you see on the star right here, it says make sure they are clean. It's kind of like having those salt and pepper shakers, at the restaurant, and they got all this grit and dirt and stuff on them. That's just nasty. So in the training, just make sure that the associates every night, they wipe down the table tents. Like that's very important, because if it's all nasty looking and it got smudges on it, people aren't going to opt into that. I mean, it doesn't look good. So you'll be surprised, just simple things like that will affect the opt-in rate. So if you look right here, this is what I typically use as a 4x6 table tent, and I go to a site called tabletentsonly.com. This information can also be found in the text Bible as far as the exact URL, so please look at that if you have not. I pay between, I think it's $1.09 to $1.26. For some reason it varies, but this is typically what I get for a 4x6 table tent, and that's what the creative that I get done on Fiverr, that's how it would look once it goes in the creative, so in the table tent. And that's the site that I like to use. So some secrets to effective campaigns is three components. Three components. You want to make sure that you have a very compelling offer. It needs to be simple, and you want to make it immediate. Okay? So compelling offer, make it simple, make it immediate. I will show you one here real quick. Let me, hopefully I can pull this up very quickly. All right, here we go. If you all can see this on the screen here, this is the client that we recently started doing training today. And if you see here, it has get a free drink and 10% off your meal instantly. Now, what you want to think about is, would I opt into a campaign like this? Like, you darn right you would, because you're going to get a drink and 10%. So if all possible, you want to get that owner to really give a little bit, because again, there always has to be an incentive for me to take action. Like, give me a reason to do something. Like, that's marketing in itself. Give me a reason to do something. So for that reason, you got to have an incentive, right? And what you tell the owner, because they may be a little bit hesitant to give away something, but they have to think long term. And that's where you have to come in and say, look, if they try to do it again, they try to opt in again, the system will not let them. So it's only one time, and they're going to recoup this investment or this giveaway, the hit that they're taking. They're gonna recover that tenfold very quickly, because the whole goal is you want to build a quick list. So let me go through here. I used this example before, but there's three here from left to right respectively. Wingstop had an offer, free wings for a year, right? Just text your name and email to this number. Number two is another local restaurant, and it just has text this keyword to the special number. Receive discounts and special offers today, right? Number three, Capri's Italian, has free cannoli or iced tea. Text or call free to this number. I want some participation here, you all. Which offer do you think pulled the best? 1, 2, or 3? And
John
Phil,
John says free wings. There's several threes, some ones, uh,
okay,
wings.
all right,
It's kind of a split between 3 and 1.
3 and 1. I wonder why not 2.
I don't know.
Why do you think 1 pulled the best? Just read a couple answers, Phil.
Uh, they thought maybe 2 had too much text.
Okay.
Let's see. They're going so fast I can't hardly keep up with them. The offer was more substantial because you get free wings for a whole year.
Okay.
Uh,
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll tell you which one pulled the best. The winner was number 3.
Probably because it was red.
It may have been, but I'll tell you, if you look right here, let me go up a couple.
Red makes
Remember,
you hungry.
compelling offer. You want it simple. You want it to be keyword
Immediate.
immediate,
Yep.
right?
Carrie's right. Immediate gratification.
That's right. That is right. Ding, 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 ding. This offer always pulls the best because they can get that cannoli or that iced tea while they're in the restaurant right now. Right now. So we put about 700 people on a list, and maybe I know it was under 60 days. I mean, it was probably one of the best converting offers that I've had. The most simple flyer you could probably ever design, as you all see. It doesn't really have a whole lot to it. The number 2 didn't pull as well because there was no immediate offer. There was nothing that was compelling about it. And yeah, it was a little bit too busy, very bland. This is also sat in a napkin holder that it didn't really get any visibility. We put about 300 people on a list in maybe 4.5 months. The second highest converting was the wings, number 1, because the perceived value looks pretty awesome. But at the same time, if you notice, this is another text provider that I used before I found Wrecking Ball. It has text your name and email, right? That's just too much information. Like if I would have done this correctly, just moving forward, I just would have said text or call wings to this number, right? It's simple, great offer, and then maybe on a subsequent text I say, hey, we would like to communicate you via email, text your email in today. So I would have used a 2-step with this, but since this had too much request, name and email, and it wasn't an immediate offer, it pulled well, but not as well as number 3. So remember that when you're sitting down with the owner and just trying to think of an offer: compelling, simple, and immediate. So that's a good game. You all are phenomenal marketers here. This is good stuff. All right, secrets to successful campaigns. We're going to go over getting the best redemption rates, some missing links to high converting campaigns, and how to appease customers. So one of the most successful things you can do, I always laugh when I see this image here, is that you want to pre-promote. Like, what is pre-promoting? Here's what it is. Today, I met with one of my clients, and we were putting together some blast schedules for the next 30 days. And our next offer is going to be on Wednesday, right? So we got from today up until Wednesday to pre-promote the offer. So everybody that's coming inside of the restaurant between today and Wednesday, the owner's telling the associates to let the customers know, make sure you save your appetite for next Wednesday. We're doing a phenomenal special. Oh yeah, what is it? Oh, just stay tuned. Make sure to look at your phone. Make sure that you're going to dine with us. See, it seems very simple. Like, man, everybody would do that. Yeah, but you'll be surprised how much it helps the redemption rates. Just something so simple as just pre-promoting it, which it comes down to, you want to make sure that this is the beauty of text, okay? Let me go on a tangent real quick. The beauty of it is the fact that, yeah, you plan for it because this is a good means that the owner now has control over their business, so they can control the money flow, control the revenue they can generate because they know they can drive people in, on a targeted day at a targeted time. At the same time, you can do shooting from the hip type of stuff where it's raining and you didn't plan on doing a deal, but you got a database, so send out an offer. So from this aspect, this will be more in the planning category where if you plan it ahead of time, then you can actually drive traffic and increase revenue just by pre-promoting. So that's something that works well. Other thing too is we all know marketing is most effective when you're consistent. So this goes hand in glove as to why you should get that owner or person you're working with to get a consistent blast schedule. See, what you're going to come in occurrence with is a lot of these owners, they have 50 million things to do, and they're always busy. There is no free time, right? So if you're going to target restaurants, just get used to having a meeting and getting interrupted because the cash register is broke or they ran out of money or an associate needs help, or just get used to it. Like your 30-minute meeting is going to be 45 minutes or an hour, okay? There's so many interruptions in the restaurant industry. And the other thing that happens is these owners have so much stuff to do that something as simple as what kind of deal do you want to run? That's like brain fog to them. That's just one more thing for them to do, which is where the text Bible came from when I created that, was to put together crafted offers and then say, hey, here's 10 offers. Which two do you like the best, right? So I love that text Bible. I use it all the time. So that's a phenomenal tool, and it will help you. But consistency. So if you don't have the actual offer, at least get the owners to start having workable dates, right? We're going to do a blast on the 13th of the month, the 24th, and the 30th. So now there's dates that you can work towards. Whenever you have a date to work towards, then guess what? You can get stuff done because it forces you to get it done. So what I do is I'll schedule these, just create a Google Calendar, and you can just share them with your clients so they know that here's the dates that are coming up. And so consistency is key, because the other part of it is when you start being consistent in your message schedule, then you can almost, it's like you're training the customers for an expectation. Like the customers know that, hey, it's Tuesday, we're probably going to get an offer, right? So that it helps. Here's one thing that this is kind of new that I started doing, and every offer is not I guess a home run slam dunk type of an offer. When we break this down by three, there's aggressive or big offers that if you send out this text, you're probably going to get a 20% redemption rate, right? Because it's just that good. Typically, these are like the buy one, get one free type of offers. Offers that business owners cannot afford to do all the time, but for certain situations. And then there's a medium dry traffic offer. These are okay offers that are probably going to pull well, but they're not as giving as just all the other offers like buy one, get one free. Typically, these are like all-inclusive offers. These are your standards. These are offers that business owners can do, feel good about, has high perceived value for the customer. Everybody wins, right? You kind of want to sprinkle a medley of these offers in your blast schedule. And then you have the low top-of-mind awareness offers. If these are offers that these businesses are already doing, already running in their business that the customers know about, but every now and again it's just good to just send out that offer that's already in practice just for top-of-mind awareness, just for them to say, oh yeah, I forgot that it's Two Punch Tuesday, or Friday is free cookie day, right? So no, you're not going to expect the hinges of the restaurant doors to come off because everybody's coming in for these offers that we already do all the time, but it's good for top-of-mind awareness. It's good for keeping that restaurant in the mind of that customer. So when you're starting to craft these offers, this is some of the stuff that you sprinkle in. And real quick, just talk about pricing. If you notice, is the stuff I'm going over is more than just logging in a text platform and hitting send, right? Like this is being a consultant. This is how you can charge more than $197 or $297 a month for text marketing, right? Even though this is an inexpensive service, but just think about the value that you already are learning now. Like, this is the stuff that business owners don't know and what you can provide to them as a service. So just keep that in mind. Other thing, some other secrets to getting higher redemption rates is just being attuned to what's going on in the city, right? Like, meaning maybe there's a lot of times like local sporting events. I know in our area football is huge down here. I mean, the local high school football team is bigger than one of the colleges, which is Clemson, in our area. So what if you send out an offer that speaks to it, like, you know, local high school football special, come in today. Like, there's a sense of affinity to that because people know what it is. You can piggyback off of known restaurant specials. Like, one of them I really, really like is I probably go to lunch at this place maybe 3 times a week. Is Olive Garden. You know, they have a soup, salad, breadsticks for $6.95. You know, phenomenal special. Can't beat it. I like the zuppa toscana, good soup. But you know these are offers that work because these big companies use it. You know, these are offers that are in effect. They've studied them, they've tested them. So you can just open your eyes and see what's going around, what you see what's going around as far as deals, and then just modify and mock or copy because you know they work, and just apply it to whoever you're helping and working with. Next thing is schedule deals by buying habits. What do I mean by that? Maybe it's the summertime and you know it's 95 degrees. People are thirsty, right? They're looking for something to drink. So if you already built the database for a customer, you can say, hey, stop into Joe's Pizza Shack and get a free ice cold sweet tea. It's on us. Just come in to cool off. Like, offers like that would just be being attuned to what is the consumer thinking, right? But see, and that's the beauty of it. And that's what I conveyed to the person that I started today, you know, for text marketing is that, look, you know, having a database is an asset. Like, you can just experiment, try, test, tweak, try different things. That bombed, didn't go well. That sucked. That go extremely well. Let's modify. Let's readjust. You can do whatever you want to do if you have a list, right? So that's the beauty of it. All right, so list building. So now that here's where we're at. You set up your VIP club, and you did your associate training. And the 1,000-foot view that you want to talk to the client from is you want to approach it in really 2 different ways. And you want to approach it from the inside and the outside. Here's what I mean by this. You want to first build a list of the existing customers of that business. These are the people that are your frequent visitors that know the restaurant, like it, trust it, eat there all the time. They bring their friends and family. They love it, right? If you build a list of just these people first, whenever you do offers, you're automatically going to have higher redemption rates, okay? And you're paid on your ability to deliver. This is just helping you long term. Then what you want to do is you want to build an outside list, okay? And your outside list is a list that you build from advertising that business may do from other sources, okay? These sources may be, let's see, Valpak, right? It may be the coupon clipper, you know, just whatever that is that they do outside of the restaurant. That's what you want to build your list from. And what I typically do is I use a separate number. So if your inside restaurant number was this, you know, text free to 55555, and your outside would be text, you know, charge to 55555. So you could either use a different keyword for tracking, same number, or a totally different number and, you know, different keyword. But I always separate the 2. And I do that just for segmentation purposes because, you know, if even though you're promoting for the same restaurant, you can still send the offer out on behalf of both lists. But I just do it because I know at one point, I know this inside list is going to prove better numbers, and you can test it. It just works that way. So we'll cover Facebook list building in a moment. Is this making sense to everybody so far? Phil, I don't know if I should take a few questions or they want me to continue right now, because I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Yep, it's making sense, and
okay, good.
That's up to you.
Good.
Keep going. You're doing good.
All right, I'll keep going. Thank you. All right, so inside approach. Again, make the business mobile VIP ready. Table tents, cards, poster boards. You want to have a compelling offer that is simple, immediate, right? And immediate gratification delivery is best. Very compelling. Next thing, which is important here, is to set goals and expectation based on average customers. So here's what I went through today. I asked the owner, I said, well, about how many transactions do you have a month? And he said, about 8,000. I said, okay.
Hey, Jason, if I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but there are a couple questions, if you don't mind, before we get into this. When you talked about the inbound and outbound marketing, where the question came up, where do you get the outside list?
You leverage off of the marketing that they're currently doing. Prime example, I work with a pizza place that did a Valpak ad. Valpak goes out to about 10,000 local residents in that particular area. So I said, well, hey, owner of the pizza place, whenever you do your creative, just go ahead and say, to get more coupons, text this number or scan this QR code. So I made their advertising they're already doing and already paying for more effective. So I just leveraged a existing modality of advertising to build the list.
And I'm going to back way up to your table tents so that we can kind of move on. But back then on the table tents, do you ever have any pushback from the client saying they've got too much on their table already? What do you do in a situation like that?
All right. In my mind, I'm saying, do you really want to grow your restaurant or get that crap off your table? But what you say though is you got to be nice about it. I mean, what I do is just say, well, listen, I'm giving you a business growth strategy, and do you think it would be worth maybe moving some of the stuff that you have off your table to afford the ability to grow your restaurant? I mean, I've never had that conversation, but that's pretty much what I would say, because if somebody brings that up, as a reason as to why they can't do it, then I personally think it's very trivial, and they may not understand the totality of what we're trying to do. But if it really is a legitimate reason that they cannot move stuff from their table, then what I would do is just find another means. So I would just tell the associates, then, hey, you're going to have to, get real serious about passing out leave behind cards. Or when they check it out the register, you're going to have to make sure that they promote it. So there's means around it.
Well, and like in a restaurant with little tables, you could probably add the creatives to the menu, or like you said, hand out with the bill. Wes asked a question about back there on your table tent. He asked a question about. I lost his place. Sorry.
It's fine.
One creative you had was call or text to sign up. What does the call do? I'm not sure I see that, Wes.
Yeah, it's on the cannoli one. Let me tell you why I did this. I'm glad you asked that. Good question, Wes. There's some restaurants, the demographic are older people that don't really text, but they can still participate in text marketing, even though they may not text, but they probably have a phone plan that is able to receive text. So I provided the means to call as just another way to hop on the list. And you can do this in Wrecking Ball. If you have Wrecking Ball, you can definitely do this. And what would happen is you just set it up that if you call the number, it's going to have this robo voice, or you can put an MP3 of your own voice and just say, welcome to Capri's VIP Club. To join our VIP club, press 1. And you just press 1, and then it automatically subscribes you, and you get a text. And that text has the immediate offer delivered. So it's just another means to hop on the list.
I like this one. Hugh says, grow the restaurant, buy bigger tables.
That's right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, move on.
Okay. All right, so I was talking to this owner today, and I asked him how many transactions he has. He says about 8,000. Excuse me, y'all. I can't clear my voice real quick. And then I asked him about how many customers out of those 8,000 you have. He said, you know what, Jason, I never thought about that. I don't really know. And he said, maybe about, maybe 1,000. I said, okay. So I said, no, here's our benchmark right here, Ali. That's the business owner's name is Ali. And I said, well, what we can do is these are people that know you, like you, trust you, love you. You could probably get about 500 people on a list. That's about 50%, right? He's like, yeah. So I said, your target when we get started is how quick can you get 500 people on a list? Do you all see that? And this is how you know within a couple of weeks or a month, you know, if this business is really actively promoting this program. You know, if I know they got 1,000 customers and only 50% of them would come to 500, and if it's been, I don't know, 60 days and they got, you know, 59 people on a list, guess what? You know, the waitresses aren't doing their job. These waitresses or waiters may need to be replaced. Right? It definitely gives you an insight as to what's really going on, because it's not the true picture that needs to be painted. All right? So, which goes hand in glove right here. You want to hit the ground running. Do not let this linger. Okay? So you want to have like beginning and end dates for the goals that you set. Hey, business owner, we're going to go off of 50% of your normal customers, so 500. It should only take you about 30 to 60 days to get 500 people on a list. We're starting today on March 7th, and by May 7th, 60 days from now, you should have 500 people on a list. If for any reason that you don't, it's an indication to me that you all are not promoting this the way that you should. Are we clear on that? All right, and you got to set the expectation. Like, that's up to you. So that's what I typically do. That's what the girl that's doing the training tonight is going to be doing, and I'm going to follow up to make sure that that was conveyed, because I want that business owner to say, yep, she went over it. I got it, Jason. I got it. Okay. So along that, we're going to cover some logistics of list building, okay? And this is situation dependent upon the type of restaurant you have, because some restaurants you come in and there's a hostess, and then the hostess sits you, and then when you sit in the seat, the waitress comes and says, hey, ma'am, I take your meal, take your order, and then you may check out at the register. Like, there's different logistics of how restaurants are, but from a general standpoint, what we typically say is if you have a sit-down place and the waitress introduces the program by a soft touch, meaning the customer sits down for the first time and they just say, hey, how are you doing? Great. Well, good to see you all. Well, the waitress will be here in a second, but oh yeah, make sure you take a look at that table too. And that's it. Just a very soft touch and a pre-sell, if you will, right? Just to kind of get the mind geared in the direction that it needs to be. And then after the meal, they already ate, feeling good and happy, and the waitress or cashier touches on the program again, more in depth. Hey, hey, customer, have you already signed up for our VIP club? Right? So this is like their second time hearing it. And then, the waitress or cashier gives the customer a leave behind card with the campaign info. So really what happens here is during a sitting, depending on the restaurant, again, restaurant dependent, there's over 3 touches of your campaign. And that just increases the odds, increases the opportunity for you capturing and maximizing your list. Because if you got 1,000 customers that come in a given month, I want all 1,000 on a list. Like, there's no reason they shouldn't be. You know, and the only reason they would not be is maybe for personal reasons, that they don't give their information out. But don't let it be because they didn't know about it or nobody promoted it to me. Because if somebody eats at a place all the time, all right, if somebody eats at a place all the time, why would they not want to get special offers? That's the way I think about it, okay? So integration inside is bare minimum. Again, this is mobile VIP ready, table tents, cards, posters, and then you can optimize it. This typically happens once a customer sees the importance of the program. I have, maybe you all can be the first one, but I've yet to have an owner that just really truly hits the ground running and just says, you know what, I'm going to put my text campaign on all my to-go items and my pizza boxes and receipts and POS service, you know, the receipts from all that and to-go items and visible entering and exiting the business. Like, it just, this doesn't happen from the jump. It happens once there is some proven, you know, results, and you got some meat on the bone, and they see that, oh, this text thing kind of works. So this is more so improving the campaign to those other areas. Other things is you can have a contest, and you can have competition between wait staff. Depending on the text platform, you can assign tracking, such as keywords per associate, that delivers the same coupon. For instance, you know, it could be John, Larry, and Sue. And on that shift, you know, John would say, hey, you know, we're in a contest. Can you help me win? Just text John to this number, and you'll get 10% off your meal. Or just text Sue to this number and get 10% off your meal. So you can create competition that way. You can also issue cards if you don't want to get that technical. And this is more of a, I guess, an honor system. Like, the owner can say, I'm issuing 25 cards today. The person with the least left that you gave away the most, one with the least left, you know, wins the prize for the night, right? So hopefully the associate doesn't throw them in the trash and say, I have 0 left, I gave them all out. But you would know over time, because that would typically equate to more subscribers on the list. Or you can kind of do it more manual, and it's very effective, but it's still very manual. It's just having a card with a blank area for them to write their number. If they do this, then I would recommend having somebody trained inside the restaurant or business that can enter them into the text platform. That's what I would do. And it's more time consuming, but it's effective. Like, I don't know why this is so, but people love to fill stuff out. You know, maybe because we've been doing it for so long, I don't know. As you all know, I have a text coupon business that I just build a large database and send out offers in my local city. And I've been to multiple events that, you know, hundreds and thousands of people were coming to booths, and we had booths set up with all our promotions and stuff. And I just knew in my mind that we would put, like, you know, 5,000 people on a list in a day, because we had these cool QR codes, and we had this number. It's only going to take like 10 seconds to text the keyword in. And you know what? That didn't work. That did not work at all. But you know what did work? Having a clipboard, having a sheet of paper, and saying, hey, put your name and number down. Like, we did 10 to 1, like 10 times better with a manual sheet of paper than texting in at the event. So I just tell you that story to say not to just, well, we need to go ahead and, you know, have a manual entry. No. I tell you that to say people love filling stuff out. So if you notice your campaign may not be coming off on the right foot, then, you know, maybe try another approach. But I only do this approach at, like, live events. But I just tell you that just for story purpose. All right? So outside list building logistics. You want to have a different number for tracking again. responses are typically going to be lower because, somebody, just think about it from this standpoint. You get a Valpak and, you have 10, 15 restaurants in that Valpak, and there may be a restaurant that you don't normally eat at, but then you see one that says, oh, for more coupons or great specials, just text this number, right? So this person just texts a number even though they don't eat at that place all the time, but they just want it for safekeeping because maybe they will be on that side of town next week and they can just whip out the coupon. But they really don't have any intention of using it. Like that's typically what happens. So you can build a large list, but the responses, the redemption rate of people coming in that place will not be as high just because of that. And again, if you do outside list building, you always want to have a compelling offer to get them in the list and get them in the door. All right? So other thing is you can incorporate with their current publications. Like ask the client, where do they currently advertise? Valpak, coupon books, paper, radio. Another strategy, which today's not the time to get into, but you can build a niche list, all right? And what this would be, excuse me, what this would be is maybe an entity or business that employs a lot of people that's almost like a small community in itself, like a local college or a hospital that has a few thousand employees. I have a restaurant now that I'm working with that we're in the process of doing this right now. It's a hospital that employs about 5,000 people. We're building a lunch club for him. He already does advertising with the hospital, and we're going to create a hospital day. So like on Wednesdays is going to be Spartanburg Regional Hospital Day, and we just build this list of all the hospital employees, right? Get them on a separate number of different lists and just pump specials to them so he knows on that Wednesday he's going to do a lot of business. So that's just kind of it's a bonus idea here, but it's not something that you would, implement in everyday affairs of list building, okay? So last thing is Facebook. Facebook it can be a good way to build a list, and this is, I want to tell you kind of before and where we're at now. I discovered this little unique strategy when Facebook wasn't charging for everything. Now they charge for everything. Like if you're not a friend of somebody now and you try to message them, it's $1. So I guess they're trying to, make money, be profitable. But this used to be free, but it's still inexpensive. But here's what it is. You can promote an offer on Facebook, and you've probably seen these. And what it allows you to do is promote an offer, claim an offer, and that offer shows in the news feed, and it almost takes a viral effect. So let's get into it real quick. It's awesome for visibility and exposure. You're probably wondering, when would I do this and why would I do this? Well, I use this, okay, let me back up for a moment. I do social media management for some of my clients. So some of the work that I do is managing their Facebook page. Now, you may not do that, but you still could use Facebook if they have a page, for instance, to just kind of go in there and help them build a list real quick. So what you would do is, if you're running a VIP offer via text on that particular day, you can create an offer on that business owner's fan page, right? And then what you can do is, it allows you to, you've probably seen this, but this is just a breakdown of it. You can determine how many offers are available for a scarcity, terms and conditions, expiration date. You can put the actual offer in here, like what is it, and you can have a nice compelling image of the food or something like that. And then this is how it looks put together. So you would claim this offer, and the good thing about it too is you can advertise this for a specific geographic region. So this offer would make most sense. A local burger joint would not make sense in a place that's advertised 500 miles away. It only makes sense within the radius of that city, right? So you can advertise just to that and people claim it, and that offer goes to your email. But the good part is everybody that claims it, it shows in the news feed. It doesn't show in the section that on the right where you see all the advertisements at. And that's the power in it, because now that person's friend sees the offer and the other person's friend sees it. So yeah, it's promoting the business and giving them visibility and exposure, but here's where you can capitalize on it. Look at the blue box down here. I have right above it, text the keyword to this number for future specials. This is how you can grow that list using all that visibility and exposure. And then you can just say share it with 3 great Facebook friends to claim. So I would make these stipulations up even though they didn't have to do it, but people would do it anyhow. And it would just make the offer go viral, which would increase the probability of, you know, getting more people onto a list. Just rule of thumb here, I would never lead with doing this. I did it because, you know, the logistics of kind of the business that I have doing VIP clubs and a daily deal type of business is somewhat different, but I did it from a trial and experimentation process. But since I know it works, you know, I no longer just do this for free, and I would not recommend you do this for free, and I would charge for it because it's pretty powerful. You're probably wondering, well, how powerful? All right, check this out. Here's one that this local pizza place that we advertise just to a geographic region in our area. 626 people claimed the offer, which is kind of a lot, but it reached 82,000 people. All I seen, like, for the time that we ran this, was just all throughout the news feeds. I mean, that's all I seen people claim the offer. Now, did 626 people come into that restaurant? No, absolutely not. But if you think about it, that's a lot of visibility and exposure for a restaurant, isn't it? Like, that's measurable visibility that you can charge for. And that's the power behind this. In addition, yeah, it's going to bring in people too, but there's actually a couple of processes. You got to look at the order, look at the offer, click on it, then claim it. So this is it's kind of a bonus right here, just to kind of let you all know that. But now you have to charge. They charge you for it, and you have to pay for it. But it's usually like $5 or $10, and sometimes you can promote it for like $40. But they won't charge you $40 all at once. I mean, you can, just like a faucet, you can turn it on and off. But that's kind of what I do for getting a client started, list building, best practices, and ended on Facebook. So I think I talked too much, Phil. I'm done. I'm done, my friend.
Okay. There's a couple questions, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
When you're using the manual feature, are you using Wrecking Ball's double opt-in to get them on the list? In other words, when you're doing the, you know, where you're gathering the list by manual write-in, when you take that list and put it into your database, are you doing a double opt-in on it, or are you just saying
no?
They opted in, so they're good?
Double opt-in, and I've never used a manual method for a restaurant. Okay. The only time I've ever used a manual method where I had to physically enter or upload a list was at a live event, and that was promoting my text company.
And you're not doing a double opt-in on them either?
That's correct.
Okay. Good. Okay, let's see. How do you do the Facebook for a client become a manager of? When you're doing the Facebook when you're doing the Facebook part for a client, are you a manager of their page?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And they would, and the thing about it is, I say the majority. I guess I can't say that. A lot of local businesses don't actively manage their page. So, I mean, a lot of times they don't even care. They'll just do it without thought and say, yeah, go ahead and be a manager. So,
not a problem. 269 or 270, somewhere in that area, you had the Facebook layout and set up. Can you show that again?
Yeah, 269, 270.
I couldn't tell which one. I think it was that one.
This one.
Or was it the? Yeah, that was the one.
Okay.
Number 270. You see that, Stacy? All right. Let's see if there are any other questions. And you're using long code or short codes for your text marketing?
Long codes for my local restaurants, but for the daily deal, I use a short code. And I only do that just for deliverability purposes, because if you start getting into large numbers, you know, I want more. Just want to make sure that it's getting to them. Sometimes it can get shaky, because I plan on growing my list to about 5,000-6,000 people, and a short code is just, I think, is better for that.
You have a link in your SMS Bible for the table tent, and as far as the creatives, where do you have those done?
Fiverr.
Fiverr, okay.
Yeah.
So Jay, hopefully that answers your. And how do you do the daily deal?
That's a loaded question.
that's proprietary information, right?
No, it really is. It's a business model with a lot of moving pieces, you all, and I have a course on it, but it's currently closed right now, and you know, it's a powerful model, but it takes a little bit more work, and I think a VIP is just it's a easier, quicker way to make it happen, but it also could set you up to build a daily deal type of business pretty quickly. So that I can't answer that. Like,
that's all right. Do you use the list from your daily deals to sell that to restaurants?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And typically what I do is just, you know, give them an offer, send out an offer on their behalf, and then come back and say, hey, if you like the responses you're getting now, I can help you get even better responses by building your own list, hence the mobile VIP club.
Jay's got a good question here, and I'll try to break it down. When you're sending out for one restaurant and you have a large list, what percentage of that list do you use so you don't send out the offer to too many people?
For the VIP club?
No, when you're sending like if you're using people from your VIP list to send an offer for a restaurant, and let's say you got 5,000 people, and if you send the offer to 5,000 people in a local town to one restaurant, the restaurant's probably going to fire you for sending them too many people one night. So how do you break that down?
All right. Well, two answers. Number one, I have not got to that point yet, and I kind of want to. So that's the excitement in it. I want somebody to get mad and say, "You brought too many people in my restaurant." Wouldn't that be cool, though? I know it can be a problem. I'm joking here, but I haven't got to that point yet. But then number two, what you could do is just rotate the offer. So you could split your list and have 2,000 offers. 2,000 subscribers going to X offer on Wednesday, that other 2,000 go to the other restaurant the next day. So just be a matter of rotating and splitting your list to go to different offers.
Okay.
So, good question.
How many messages a month do you typically send a restaurant?
For the VIP, maybe 2 to 3.
Okay. Let's see. I think we're about to get them. They're really chomping on that daily deal class. You're going to have to think about that one. Do you try to set up a separate list? Do you try to set up a separate list for every day of the week per restaurant?
I don't understand that. Can they clarify more?
Do you? Well, I'm not sure, Lydia, what you mean by that, because if he's only sending out 2 or 3 messages a month, you're not going to send them out every day of the week.
Yeah, for the daily deal, is I'll maybe send out 2 to 3 a week, and I don't want to get too much into that, but here's what it is. Daily deal is a community list that I send out offers on behalf of the restaurant. So master list out to the restaurant. So in essence, at one point I had about 25 restaurants on board. So, you know, it was kind of like a deal every other day that people were getting, but that's what they agreed to receive. VIP Club is a little bit different where you're building a database of just the existing patrons where your goal is to increase the frequency of customer visits. And typically you would only send out 2 to 4 messages per month to that list. So my daily deal clients are getting multiple messages per week where a VIP patron would get, you know, 2 to 4 messages per month. So,
Do you wear a suit and tie when you go for sales calls, or more casual?
I'm casual.
Okay.
Casual but clean.
There you go. And this question, does Wrecking Ball have a feature that allows you to send to the next few hundred on the same list?
I don't know. That would be a good question to ask.
Not sure I understand 100% on that. Whoever's on that list would go out if you're sending just a straight SMS, Jay, but you could break it down. I mean, any list in there you can export it, break it down, and then import it back into a campaign to send out. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, that way you wouldn't want to get too many people bombarding.
Yeah.
What legal stuff do you include in the text?
None.
Just
I just say welcome to Upstate Daily Deals. You may receive up to 2 to 7 messages per week, you know, and message and data rates may apply. That's it.
That's great. And then reply stop to end if it's on a blast or something.
And the beauty of it is that, like with anything, whether it's a VIP or any type of niche-based club you create, like there's a filter process in the system itself, because nobody's going to opt into something that they didn't intend to opt into. Like, it's permission-based.
Right.
You know?
Mark's got a very good question. This is something that has come up occasionally, and it's also for those that have the Wrecking Ball system using Twilio. This is something that is real important. You're doing your testing with the Wrecking Ball system, and if you are texting in on your own phone, and then you text, and then you reply stop to cancel, and then you text back in, Twilio has a safeguard in there that will blacklist you after 3 times of pressing stop on the same number. So that pretty well answers Mark's question about how you can prevent someone from opting in for a deal and then opting out and opting back in the next visit.
No, I learned something today.
And they will blacklist you at Twilio if you stop 3 times on the same number, because they're stopping the spamming and protecting themselves. Now, the only way, especially if you're doing some testing, don't press stop is the first thing. But if you do get blacklisted, you can call and make arrangements and beg and plead, and they'll probably let you back in. But it's just something to protect them as well as you. Anyway, just a little Wrecking Ball tidbit. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we've about wore your voice out. There's still a few questions, but let's take one more question. Let's see here. I got to open this up so I can read them. It's so small that. When you're going in to a restaurant to talk to the owner, I'm going to assume this is for the first time, do you ask to talk to the owner, or do you sit down to eat first?
It depends. Like, I typically do my research first, where I would discover who the owner is, kind of that prepping of the best buyer sheet. But sometimes it's not always that way. So I would know beforehand if I'm going to approach what the owner's name is, and I just go in and say, hey, can you tell Frances Jason's here? As if I know Frances, but I've never met her before, or him. But if I am going for the first time kind of blind, not knowing who I'm talking to, then I wouldn't eat. I would just go there what I'm going there for. So.
Very good. Let's take one more. Do you fire the business if they can't comply or write it out until they rub your name in the dirt? If you fire a business for not complying, then what is your threshold percentage of transactions before you let them go?
You know, with everything, you want to give people an opportunity to get right. And I'll tell you all, and this is true, like I guess I've lost 2 clients because of that. And that's why I stress so strongly the importance of it, of making sure training gets off on the right foot, because, you know, the result of that was, yeah, we're doing pretty good, but it's not what I expected. I thought we'd have more people in the door, and then they had money problems and different troubles like that. But I've never fired a client at this point, but I will if it, you know, gets below a threshold, absolutely. That's why you all hear me talking so much about, you better make sure you state your expectations, because you don't want to, you know, have people thinking that your services don't work. I had to learn by experience, you all. I really did.
Very good. Jason, thanks much. We're going to get this processed and get it up for everybody to be able to get into it. Those that came in late, shame on you, but the recording will be out there. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch you again.
All right.